All right, guys, we're here in the garage here. This is my 2023 Tesla Model Y long-range all-wheel drive. I've had these tires on the car for about 4,500 miles. The nice thing is in the service screen, the car will track when you rotate or put new tires on. You can reset the meter. And I want to give you an update on these tires. These are a budget EV tire, so we'll give an update on the tires. I want to show you the rotation process, and I'm also going to check the balance on them. All right, so there's a couple ways you can do the rotation. I'm going to do the two jack method here because I only have 4,500 miles on these. I think Tesla recommends usually around 6,000 miles to rotate these. So let me show you some of the tools we're going to need. A 21 millimeter socket. I use a breaker bar to initially crack the lug nut loose, and then I use an impact driver just to reverse the lug nut off. A torque wrench. So these all have 21 millimeter sockets on them. And then we're using 2 floor jacks. You can use 4 floor jacks. Now, if you have 4, like I do, you can do it easier and quicker where you can move the tire crossways. So in this one, because we're only at 4,500 miles, I'm just moving the front to the back on the same side. This way is a little easier because you're only lifting up one side at a time. So I'm just lifting up the front and the back on one side. You can use 2 floor jacks on that. And you'll lift it up, take that one off, put it there, put that one, put it there. Also using these Tesla jack pads. Looks like a hockey puck with a little stem on the top here. This goes in, there's a groove, there's a hole underneath the car on each where the jack point is on all 4 sides. These are handy when you're jacking the car up to have the jack rest on that. It's going to help with stability and to make sure you're not jacking it on the battery pack. So for reference here, I want to show you where the jack point is. This is on the rear, the driver's side rear. See that hole right there? That's the jack point. There's one of those. So there's one of those right there, and then there's one just behind the tire there. So 2 of those. That's the only place you can safely jack on these cars. So just get that puck and just put it up in there. There's a little O-ring on it that holds it up there, and then you can safely jack on those 4 points there. Jack pad put under there. See how it just kind of sticks in there? So I want to get one on the front or the back and one on the front here. All right, you see here I have the 2 jacks here. I have them just slightly lifted up. Before I get the tire off the ground, what I like to do is I want to take my wheel cover off here. And you just want to grab behind the cover on a few spots and it pops off as easy as that. All right, with the wheel cover off and a little bit of the weight off of the wheel, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my breaker bar here. And I just want to crack the lug nut loose with this. And the reason I do this is to take it off with that impact wrench. I don't like pounding on the lug nuts, and so I want them kind of looser so that way they're just going to come off easier. I think it's going to save the lug nuts a little more. Counterclockwise, just about this much. So it's not a huge. I'm not taking all the torque off of them. I'm just taking them so they're not really tight. So I'm just going probably 1/8 of a turn here. Okay. And just doing the same thing on the front tire. With the lug nuts now loosened, I'm just going to make sure I have my jack in the lifting position here. And I'm just going to kind of equally jack up on each side here so I can get the wheel off the ground. Okay, the front's off. And the rear's off. Okay, I'm going to get my impact wrench here. Just get it in the reverse position. I've got my 21 millimeter socket on there. I'm just slowly loosening the lug nuts here. And just carefully. Just want to make sure I'm not scratching this area here because this black powder coating can get scratched if you're not careful with your socket here. So we've got all 5 lug nuts off. And backing the lug nuts off on the front and removing the wheel. All right, with both of these wheels off, what I want to do now is I want to just inspect the wheel. I want to inspect the tire. I want to make sure there's no damage. If there's like little rocks, I'll just get a little pick tool and pick those out. I want to look inside of the wheel here. I want to make sure, look on the inside, because in the inside, I'm really not seeing a lot of the inside. So I want to make sure looking in here, make sure my wheel weights are on there. inspect anything, see if there's any like nails damage in the tire. Sometimes you can have a puncture, a nail in the tire, and it's still holding air. So I'm just going through here. I'm gonna get a tire gauge and just see what my tire depth, tread depth readings looking like at 4,500 miles. They should have been 9/30 seconds when they're new. Looks like we're 8. More than 8. So just over 8, 8.1, 8.2, 30 seconds. This one, the middle right here, 8.5. So that's right in line. No odd wearing. The shoulders aren't wearing. A lot of these times, these Model Ys, you're going to get a lot of wear on the inner side here. This inner shoulder here is going to wear a lot quicker than the rest of the tread, just the way the camber on the wheel is set up. But I really like these tires. They've given a good mileage, good grip, no issues, no problems. They've done really good. They're kind of a budget tire. The all-season EV tire, the Radar, they're in the 255, 45, 19 size. This size of wheel is going to give you the best mileage and best range. I paid around $140 per tire for these, which is kind of a budget tire price. Now I want to get the pressure washer out and just spray these wheels off. I want to wash them. Also want to get all the brake dust off, because normally these are not, when I get the car washed, I'm not taking the hubcap off to wash them. So they are pretty dirty. They're also dirty on the inside, and then the hubcaps are also dirty on the inside because those don't get washed on the inside. And then on the inside of the wheel, sometimes there's like road tar or rocks that will stick on the inside of the wheel. And it's helpful just to kind of scrape all that off, any debris, inspecting the wheel and getting these nice and clean. All right, with the tire all cleaned up, all the rocks out of the tread, I'm ready to throw it on the balancer here. This is kind of an extra step that I like to do just to make sure my balance is in check. It can be off by a few ounces here and there. As the tread wears down on these, the balance might need to be adjusted. This is just a basic balancer machine. It's not Tesla branded. It's an off brand that I just put the sticker on there. But this has been great, really handy to have in my garage to be able to do all my own tire maintenance, mount and balance my own tires. So this has been a great addition to my garage. All right, the wheels are ready to go back on. One thing I did when I took these off, I marked on the tread with a marking crayon rear, meaning that's where it's going to go. And then on the front one, I put an F, so that way, because I took these away from the car, washed them, balanced them, I want to make sure I'm putting the ones back in the right spot. It defeats the whole purpose of this, right? So I just want to make sure you're keeping track of where it came from, where it's going, so you can get it back on the right spot. I'll just show you one wheel, how we get it back on. Pretty easy. We just want to make sure we have, just want to give the jack a little pump here, just because sometimes it can sag. Make sure that it's lifted up high enough that we'll be off the ground here. Just positioning the wheel exactly where it goes. I want to make sure that it's good, nice enough, snug on the hub. And then for the lug nuts, I want to make sure that I'm with my hand starting them, getting the threads started. That's important with this. You don't want to use your impact wrench to do that, to get those started. Very carefully spinning it on there, and I'll give it 8 or 9 turns so that it's started. And then with my impact wrench, I'm just going to slowly bottom it out. That way it's going to hold the wheel there, and then I can get the rest here. So this one's, I just want to get it snug on there, and then just hand tighten all of the rest. I want to do it in a star pattern as I'm putting it on here. If you start it with the impact, if you just put the lug nut on the impact wrench like this and you just start it on there, there's a good chance you can get that cross-threaded. You'll ruin the studs, you'll ruin the lug nut. So it's just better to do it this way. And then we're just putting, it's probably only 50, 60 foot-pounds of torque on it right now. Torque setting is 129 foot-pounds of torque on the lug nuts. I want to set our torque wrench to real easily, the same star pattern. That's probably only 70 or 80 foot-pounds, so it's not a lot of torque on there. And I want to just slightly lower the wheel down so the tire touches the ground. And then I've got my torque wrench dialed into it's around 130, 129, 130 foot-pounds. That's right where we want it. Star pattern. When I hear the click, I know that I'm at my torque spec. And see, I'm in my star pattern here. I'm able to still turn this, means that my impact wrench didn't put a lot of torque on it, maybe 70, 80 pounds. And then I'm going the rest of the way with my torque wrench. So I'm not over torquing the lug nut, putting extra stress on it. Okay, I got that there. Now I'll go back again and just make sure we're at 130 foot-pounds on each of these. Just kind of slowly putting pressure on the torque wrench. Okay, there we are. Right, now before I put my cover back on, I want to check the air pressure. It's actually a little easier to check the pressure with it off. My screen was telling me I was a little bit off, a little low. This is showing 38 psi. We want to be at 42. Okay, we just line up the groove with the valve stem. Slip in the middle here, and then just pound all around it, and it snaps on there really easily. Once I remove the jack, I can remove the jack pad, and I can put the cover on the front wheel. Now I just repeat the same process on the other side of the car, removing the front wheel, putting it on the rear one on the front, but first I'm cleaning them. I'm checking the air pressure and checking the balance and making sure they're torqued down. Now back in the car, under the service menu, we push reset. It'll reset the trip meter for the tire service, and we do rotation. Put the foot on the brake, hit reset, and I'll reset that mileage meter. All right, guys, so that was the kind of the full process going from front to back on the same side. Now the next rotation at about 4,500 miles, I'll make a mark to do that again, 4,500 miles. But I want to go like from back right to front left, so I want to do crosswise, and that's where it's helpful to have more than just 2 jacks. If I had 4 jacks like that, I can just lift it all up and do the crosswise. So every other rotation, you want to make sure the tire is on the other side of the car. Now, if you only had the 2 jacks, these rear ones, maybe at 3,500 miles, you could go side to side, and then you can go front. So it's kind of a way to get the wheel in different positions of the car to help it wear evenly. All right, guys, so that's the process to rotate the tires. Again, I would recommend doing this. If you want to get maximum longevity out of your tires, you want to do this. It's also helpful to get the wheel off, to clean it, to inspect it, and make sure there's no problems, issues. If you take it to a tire store, they're going to be able to check the balance as well. A few of my tires needed more weight added to a few different spots to get it into balance. And that can change over the course of 4, 5, 6,000 miles. Your balance can change. I've had good success so far with these Radar EV specific tires. I think they're a good budget tire. If you're looking for something, I'll leave a link to those down below. I'll also leave a link to all the tools that you're looking at. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching the video. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks.